what you can do is pre-select everything that you want to get rid of all the intersection curves for. And what we can put on is what's called a fit spline. Tools, spline tools, where they at, where they at? Insert. I think move spline there too. Am I missing it? No. There it is, spline tools, and we have fit spline. Okay, this is the one that he said they'd taken out of the flyout. Either way, the tool still exists. And what this does is it will take a bunch of geometry, whether it be a bunch of splines or a spline part of it or lines and arcs. And what it'll do is as if you drew it all with the spline all the way through as one continuous piece is what it will do for you. And we can look down in here. If I zoom on in, you can see the blue and the pink. The pink is the new spline that is drawn over and constrained to the original geometry. And I say constrained, we have the option of constraining it to the original, so if I make a change to that helix, and maybe make a pitch change or something like that, this new fit spline should update. It's not 100% because there's a lot of math going on in there. If you get a new face, a new line or something like that, it's not going to know what to do with it. You can unconstrain it so that you've got the original and the new sitting on top of each other, or you can just fix the two together, which again is non-parametric. Delete the original or close it up if you just wanted it to close up and make a closed spline. The tolerance is basically how many points there are on the spline. On this spline that's going to be created, you're not going to see any points. It's going to be in the background coded in. But the tolerance itself is basically how tight do you want it to fit up in there. And depending on depending on the geometry that you're using this with, you'll be able to see in corners. It might come up something like this, and as you tighten up the tolerance, it'll butt up into there.
That's important if you're going to use CAM.
Yeah.
Export it to CNC.
Yes.
That's very important.
And it will definitely, we use this in the advanced class. Is it advanced or circuit class? Yeah, the advanced class, I believe it is. We use this tool. They create this hook, this big heavy hook, and it looks really cool without this tool. But then you put this tool on here, and the whole thing is just nice and smooth. It's one of those forged hooks that would have the latch on it. I can't remember what they're called. And but with this tool here, we give it an OK. Give it a second, and you can see now when I put my cursor over it, I've got the icon for a spline versus lines and arcs. And this time when I close my sketch and create my new plane, I had to delete the other one because it would have failed. And start a sketch here. Point. Now when I did this the other night and tested this out, I got a bump in here. I don't know where it came from, but that's one of the things that when dealing with splines. So we'll see what we get here. Here and here. No bump today. Cool. At least I can see that. Alright, turn off that plane. And we can see here those tangent edges are gone, and it's basically one continuous face all the way down instead of line arc, line arc, line arc. All set. So, also if you're just drawing regular compression springs or torsion springs, things like that, you can use that tool and then springs if you're really into making the spring look that pretty in your assembly. Especially if you're going to do animations and things like that, it'll clean up the lines and the lighting and things that will come off of it versus lines and arcs. Or one last thing, this tool is also great when you go from a helix into the end of your spring if you're going to have a straight on the end. You're always going to get that some sort of sharp in there. You draw your helix, draw your line, and then do a fit spline over the two of them, and it will smooth over that transition to where it's basically more real life to what you're really going to have. You're never going to have a sharp in there. It's 8 o'clock now. Do you guys want to go a little bit longer, or what? Anybody have to take off?